Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now this video is going to be a selection of highlight clips from the past few days, and we're starting off here on Te Awawara, where whilst I was grinding fallow deer I had something pretty awesome happen. So as you guys will see, there is a level 5 there, and if we turn around and face the other side of this little lake, there is another level 5. Now this is always really awesome. Seeing two max level animals within sight of each other is always a really cool experience. And with something like fallow deer where they have these absolutely huge antlers and you just know that these both are going to make diamond, there's no doubt with those racks that they won't make diamond. So I just had to make good shots on both of them just to make sure I got the full score and I would have 2 diamonds at the same lake. And that's just always a really cool thing to get to happen. And it was just from grinding fallow deer, trying to get a melanistic buck to pop up. I got really lucky with the respawns, not for rares, but in terms of getting 2 max level animals like that, it's really awesome. And one of them is actually my favourite common fur type for the fallow deer, which is the spotted. I think this fur type just looks really nice, very beautiful looking fur type. And this guy is a pretty big diamond at 267.80. A really gorgeous looking buck. Not my biggest, as my biggest is a 270 scoring buck, but I decided I would tax this guy because as far as I know this is my biggest spotted fur type diamond fallow deer, and I might put him in a multi-mount, maybe in a secondary lodge or something. But I really do like how these guys look. They are absolutely beautiful. And this reminded me how much I would like to see a fallow deer great one in this game, because grinding for something like a fallow deer great one, when the diamonds look this awesome, it makes it so much easier. When you're seeing really beautiful looking max level animals like this, it just makes grinding for them so much easier. And this guy is a little bit smaller than the previous at 259.90. He's also the dark fur type, which is my least favourite of the common fur types for the fallow deer, but he is a diamond, and of course the diamond fallow deer do always look so impressive with those huge racks. Sticking with the theme of fallow deer here on my single player Te Awawara, I ended up getting another level 5 to spawn. And I decided I was going to take a little bit of a longer shot on this guy, but I wanted to get just basically to the edge of the water here, just to get me a little bit closer. I wasn't entirely confident taking that shot from the tripod, and it actually ended up working really well. I'm so happy with how this particular shot ended up coming off. And again, not particularly lucky with getting the melanistic respawn that I'm looking for, but seeing level 5s is always encouraging, as I've said before. And you can see using the M1 again here, same with the previous 2 fallow deer level 5s, and as soon as he picks his head up, line up that shot, and I actually dropped him on the spot. So I was pretty confident that that had ended up being a heart shot, which is just always really satisfying. And picking this guy up, he is a max weight 262.40 scoring diamond fallow deer. That is always really awesome to see that 100 kgs popping up. You know that that's a really nice animal. It's just a cool thing when you get a max weight diamond. It's always a nice little addition. And with making that heart shot and dropping him on the spot, I was really happy with that. And I decided I would actually keep that one and just maybe tax him in the future. So he is in my saved harvests for now. He's not my biggest, and it's also not my particular favourite fur type, but sometimes I do like to tax the max weights from grinds, so at least I do have him in my saved, in case I decide I want to tax him. But moving on to a couple of rares, and this was the first rare of my fallow deer grind that I had pop up. A very tiny level 3 piebald buck. Unfortunately, there was a much better looking level 3 right beside him as well. I wish that he'd had the rack of the other level 3 you can see in this clip, because it would have just made him slightly more impressive. And unfortunately, all of the piebald fallow deer that I've ever shot have been incredibly small. So I am hoping that eventually I can get a bigger one, whether it's through single player grinding or through grinding by going through multiplayer sessions. They are absolutely beautiful, no matter what size they are, though. The piebald fallow deer are one of the best looking piebalds in the game, in my opinion, because of the different colours that you have in their fur. They are just absolutely stunning. You have that darker brown on the back and then sort of lighter brown patches on the face and going down the legs. They're just a really stunning looking animal. Again, it's a shame that he's so small. Every piebald fallow I've ever shot has been a really, really small one, but they are really beautiful, so I did decide I would tax him. He can probably go somewhere in a secondary lodge, because getting rare fallow deer is quite a rare thing. You don't see an awful lot of them popping up. I've hunted fallow deer really, really hard in search of a melanistic, both in single and multiplayer, and I've only had a few rares actually turn up, so I actually probably will put this guy somewhere, because like I said, they are just so uncommon to come across, even when they're small like this guy. Now, again, in single player, I had something pretty funny happen. This was later the same day. I had another level 3 rare fallow buck turn up, and this time it was an albino. And just looking at him here, I was 99% sure that is the same rack as the piebald had, and I just thought it was so funny to get two that were practically carbon copies of each other, just with different rare fur types, on the same day. And the albino fallow are, again, they're even more rare than the piebalds. I've only ever shot, I think, 1 or 2 maybe of these guys ever. And yeah, they are also really stunning. So immediately taxing that guy, because these are that little bit extra rare. But looking at that rack, it is the exact same antlers as the piebald had, and they're only a little tiny bit different in score as well, which I just thought was so funny, and I was really hoping that I would end up with the trifecta, all with the same rack, but unfortunately the melanistic didn't decide to pop up on the same day with the same pair of antlers, and I am still searching for that ever elusive mela. But that was just a really cool experience, ending up with 2 rares on the same day with the same rack. And now jumping into a multiplayer clip here, and you've just seen me take down yet another level 3 albino fallow deer. I just can't seem to get lucky with getting any big rares for these guys at the moment. If I had a choice, the one that I would really like to get a big rare of, other than a mela, would be the piebald though, because I do actually have a troll level 5 albino fallow from Te Awawara, so getting a couple of small albinos I don't really mind, as I do have that really nice big one in the lodge, but I would really like to get a nice size piebald, and any size melanistic I'll be happy with. Unfortunately, it did mess up the shot on that guy slightly. It was a little bit too far back, but with him only being a level 3 anyway, it didn't really matter, so that's why I took that shot a little bit quickly. Now, moving on to another single player clip, and this was from my Silver Ridge Peaks. I decided that I was going to go and check out my maps ever since I did that pop reset, and continue to check out and see what had happened to my populations, and see what kind of grinds I was basically thinking of starting. And one of those grinds I was considering starting was an albino Rocky Mountain elk bull grind. I've only ever shot a albino cow, and that was on Xbox, and I really, really would like to get an albino bull. And as you guys will have seen, what happened here was I came to this lake in search of Rocky Mountain elk. The first thing I spotted was a level 3 turkey, and what walks behind him? A level 5 elk. I was like, okay, Silver Ridge Peaks, you're known for being pretty good for your diamonds, but that was crazy. Like, I've never had that happen on Silver Ridge Peaks before, I don't think. And this guy looked absolutely huge. I was very confident that this was going to be a diamond elk. And it is the light grey fur type as well, which is really cool. And picking him up, he is a diamond, a 480, so max weight, diamond Rocky Mountain elk. 497.80 score, so not my biggest. I do have one that's over 500 score, but this guy actually looks really cool. He has like bigger brow tines on one side than the other, and the side that has those bigger brow tines is really, really cool. So the antlers are slightly different, which is the True Rax effect, but they actually match up pretty darn well. Like, that's not bad in terms of looking uneven, so I was really, really, really happy to get this guy. And I couldn't remember if I had any light grey diamond elk in the lodge, But either way, he's definitely going to find his place somewhere in one of my lodges. And then going over to pick up the turkey, he is a diamond at 4.60, so a lower end scoring diamond, but again, a diamond is a diamond. Always nice to see two max level animals again walking by each other like that. It just blew my mind, and I was like, okay, that's really awesome. And I looked around the rest of my Silveridge Peaks looking for elk and stuff like that. I didn't find anything else good, so it was just, again, one of those cases where you get a really good spawn all in one spot, and it's just always an incredible experience. It really does get your heart going. I was really, really, really excited when I saw that. Moving on to a clip from multiplayer now, and I once again was in search of an albino or a melanistic raccoon. And once again, I've ended up finding a rare, not quite exactly what I was looking for, but that right there is a blonde piebald level 3 male raccoon. And I managed to get a shot at him and actually bring him down there with the 22. He didn't go very far before dropping. And as I mentioned the first time I got one of these guys, they are really, really beautiful looking animals. That light coloured fur mixed in with almost reddish and sort of greyish coloured tinges. They're just very, very pretty, and I really do like them. I have not seen a brown piebald posted for these guys, so as far as I know it is only blonde and grey which actually have piebald variations, which I guess kind of makes sense seeing as the brown and the grey are pretty similar, but it would have been cool to have a piebald variation for all three different colours that you can get these guys in. But I think the blonde piebald is up there with one of my favourite rares in the game. They're just so incredibly beautiful and unique looking. And yeah, I knew exactly what I was looking at as soon as I saw this thing. I didn't actually pick up the track first, I actually saw it and immediately knew it was a blonde piebald. And I really, really do like these guys. The raccoons are definitely one of my favourite species in-game. Now, again, I was in my single player here on Mississippi Acres, decided I was going to come and hunt some raccoons, and I ended up picking up a melanistic male raccoon track. Now, I ended up failing here so badly, and please feel free to laugh at the absolute fail you guys are going to see in a minute, because I did end up tracking this guy down, and I could immediately tell this was the raccoon we were looking for, because it was a jet black raccoon walking through the grass, and I was super pumped to find this. I have been hunting raccoons so hard in search of getting a Mela and an albino to complete my collection, and when I saw this guy, I kind of let the excitement get to me, and as soon as I got a clear look at him here, him being a level 3 male, I took a shot here, and I knew it hit him because he fell over, and I didn't think that second shot hit. So I go for what I thought there was a second shot. But after looking back in the footage, I can see that there was like a second dust cloud, and then I ended up shooting him 3 times, which was a big oof, and it was just completely my fault. Unfortunately, no matter how hard I try to get everything perfect, sometimes I'm going to get things wrong, and unfortunately this was one of those cases. However, thankfully this guy was never going to be a diamond or anything like that. What's important is that he is a melanistic raccoon, and that is a seriously rare, seriously beautiful animal on the ground, and they just look incredible. So using his fur as our background here, we will pick him up, and he is a melanistic. Now, unfortunately, this guy would have made gold by basically the skin of his teeth. He would have been right on the gold requirement. And I was very confused when I picked him up and it said that I'd hit him 3 times. I couldn't work it out. But looking back in the footage, I can see exactly what happened. Right as he basically rolled over from the first shot, that second shot hit him. And yeah, I ended up messing up. It happens. Thankfully, like I said, he wouldn't have been a very big gold anyway, being a level 3. Most level 3s do make silver. But he is absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't change the fact he's a melanistic. I'm sorry guys that I messed up there. I hate messing up. I'm a perfectionist, and I really criticize myself when I mess up like that. And I spent a long time thinking, oh, I'm really upset. You know, I should have done better there. But he still looks great in the lodge with my melanistic alligator in a multi-mount. So I'm really happy I actually managed to finally get one. Now just got to look for an albino and hopefully I'll be able to get one of those on the ground soon. Now moving on to the feral goat portion of this video, and I ended up finding this guy on my Te Arawara after doing the reset, and I was looking around at all the goats, checking out my population, which is now back to normal, and I ended up finding this guy. And these are definitely a rare now. Let me tell you, I have looked through so many goats in search of the couple of trophies I've been after, and this is the first mixed goat I have seen since Mississippi. So I was really excited to take this guy down, because he is absolutely beautiful, and I am so happy these are a rare now, purely because I can have them on display in the lodge without them having to be a diamond, and I absolutely love them. I think they are one of the prettiest fur types in the entire game. Like, how gorgeous is that? And he's a really good size level 4 as well. I really like the horns that he's got. This is, to me, a absolutely awesome goat. And as I said, these are definitely a rare now. They're just you don't see them anymore. So definitely a rare, definitely going to go in the trophy lodge. And I'm very happy with that. What an absolutely beautiful animal. The different colours in the fur, they're just, I can't express how gorgeous these things look. They are really something special. And like I said, I'm happy that now I get to display these in the lodge when I find them. They don't have to be a diamond because they are just a rare now in general. And yeah, when they were an uncommon before, I normally only display diamonds and rares in the lodge. That's normally the things that I go for in my trophy lodge. So I never had just a mixed feral goat in the trophy lodge because I never got a diamond one. But now I can have that in the trophy lodge as a rare. So that's really cool. And from one rare that's kind of a new rare because it used to be an uncommon, and onto a rare that has always been a rare for the feral goats. This right here is one of the rarest feral goats you can get in the game. That is a black fur type female. And this one is actually really cool because she's very uneven. And I was really actually excited to see the uneven horns on this one. Definitely going into the trophy lodge being that uneven and a rare. And these guys are very rare. I've only ever shot a couple of them, and I hunt the goats quite a lot. And so this was the animal that I actually shared the teaser picture of for you a couple of days ago. This was the animal. It was a black fur type feral goat. And as I mentioned, this is a rare for the feral goats. They look really cool. I hope one day I can get a big male one, but this is also just awesome, seeing one with a really wonky set of horns. It almost looks like she broke off the one side at some point in her life, which I just kind of like how that looks, and almost like the story behind it, if you just like think about it in terms of what would cause an animal to look like this in real life. So I was very excited to take this one down. Definitely a very cool rare to come across. They just look really cool. I really like them. There's just something about a pure black feral goat that looks really epic, and even a female like that just looks so awesome. Now onto the last animal of this video, and the one that you guys will have seen in the title and in the thumbnail. This, I would argue, has to be the rarest feral goat fur type in the entire game. That female right there, I was looking at her hooves and I was 99.9% sure that I could see pink hooves on that goat. And that is one of the telltale giveaway signs for an albino feral goat. And when I picked up her track, it said albino. I have been waiting so long to see that come up on a track for a feral goat. It was just awesome. Now, thankfully, and I really do have to give a shout out to the host of this multiplayer session, you'll see their name popping up in the bottom left corner as they harvest animals. They were so kind and, didn't kick me from the session and all that, and that meant that with them being so kind as they were, that I could spend some time just getting some pictures of this goat and actually spending some time looking at it, because this is an incredibly rare animal, and I do always like to get pictures of rare animals, and especially with something like an albino feral goat, it's very useful for me to take a look at one in the field for a little while and get to learn what those signifying characteristics are, because when you have something like an albino feral goat, when they also have a white fur type, it's very useful to learn all of those telltale signs, because now I know exactly what I'm looking for in future, and I know that I've never seen one of these in the past, and it just meant that I could spend a long time looking at this goat and actually getting those pictures. So as you guys can see, she has very obviously sort of pinkish brown colour hooves and a beautiful pure white coat. That is an absolutely gorgeous looking animal, and picking her up, she is a huge albino female feral goat. That is a really, really big female. 70.4, that's one of the biggest females I think I've ever shot. And 32 kgs on the dot, I'm not sure, but that might be max weight for a female feral goat. If you've ever shot one bigger than this, please let me know in terms of weight, but I just got a feeling that that might be max weight. It being 32 kg on the dot, it just feels like it could be a max weight for a female. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any definite answers as to whether it's max weight for a female, because of course normally we only pay attention to what's max weight for males in this game, but either way, this is a chunky female goat. Like, she's big for a female. And with her being an albino as well, that's just awesome. That is going in the main trophy lodge. It doesn't matter that she's a female. She's huge for a female, and it's just so incredibly rare. It's like an albino female lion. They're just that rare. You never see these guys posted. I think I've only ever seen maybe 3 or 4 ever posted that I've ever seen. I know there's been more than that posted, but my point is, they're just extremely, extremely, extremely rare. And I was so super excited when I saw this, and I saw that she was actually an albino, and I couldn't wait to actually share it with you guys. And I will keep looking to see if I can find a male as well, but no matter what, I finally got one. I know exactly what these guys look like now, and this was a super exciting moment for me, and I could not wait to actually share it. So I'm absolutely thrilled. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much, as always, for all your support. I always really appreciate absolutely everything you guys do. I'm so incredibly grateful. Thank you as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.